everyone, welcome to Alfonso Academy. I am Sir Peter Alfonso, and this is the second part of the chapter periodic classification of elements. So today we are going to study about the Russian scientist Dmitry Mendeleev and his periodic table of elements. Mendeleev's periodic table is considered to be one of the most important steps in the classification of elements. So he is also called as the father of chemistry. Mendeleev arranged the 63 elements known at that time in an increasing order of their atomic masses. He found it out that the chemical properties of the elements and their compounds showed a periodic trend. On the basis of this, he stated that the properties of the elements are a periodic function of their atomic masses. The vertical columns in the Mendeleev's periodic table are called as groups. So the vertical columns are called as groups and the horizontal rows are called as periods. Mendeleev made separate cards for every known element with its atomic mass. So every element, he took separate cards and wrote its atomic mass on the card, and then he arranged these cards with the increasing order of their atomic masses. And for further classification, Mendeleev focused on the oxides and hydrides made by this element. So he saw the reactivity with oxygen and hydrogen of these elements, and he wrote the general formulas in the groups separately for oxides and separately for hydrides. Then he took the first element. He took the first card which had element number 1 as hydrogen with atomic mass as 1. So he took hydrogen and saw the reactivity with oxygen. So with oxygen it formed H2O. So it matched the general formula R2O. So this was the old system, how it was written. 2 was written up. Nowadays in the modern system 2 is written down. So H2 had general formula as R2O. So hydrogen was placed in the first box, in the first group and in the first period. Next he took lithium and saw its reactivity with oxygen. Lithium formed Li2O. So he saw if it is matching the general formula anywhere in any group, group 2, group 3 till group 8, it did not match any group. So again he had to come back in group 1 below hydrogen. So Li with atomic mass as 7 on the second card, it was placed in period 2, group 1, period 2. Next he took beryllium which had atomic mass as 9.4. This was the third card, and beryllium formed beryllium oxide. So it matched the general formula under group 2 RO. So beryllium he placed under group 2. Next he took boron and saw the reactivity with oxygen. Boron with oxygen formed B2O3, boron trioxide. Next he took carbon and saw the reactivity with oxygen first and then hydrogen. With oxygen carbon formed CO2, which is carbon dioxide, and with hydrogen carbon formed CH4, which is methane. So carbon's reactivity with oxygen and hydrogen matched the general formulas under group 4. So carbon he placed over here. Next he took nitrogen and saw the reactivity with hydrogen and oxygen. With hydrogen, nitrogen formed NH3, which is ammonia, and with oxygen it formed N2O5, which is nitrogen pentoxide, or it is also called as dinitrogen pentoxide. So it matched the general formulas for hydrides and oxides under group 5. So nitrogen he placed over here under group 5. So he kept on classifying the elements this way in groups and periods, and then he reached calcium. On reaching calcium, he found that calcium forms calcium oxide when it reacts with oxygen. So it matches the general formula under group 2 RO. So it was placed over here, and after calcium he kept vacant place. So this was the speciality of Mendeleev's periodic table. He kept vacant places for the unknown element. So he kept a vacant place over here, and he did only keep the vacant place but also predicted the properties of these elements, and then he assumed a certain atomic mass number for this element. So this element was given the atomic mass as 44 with respect to the atomic masses of the elements at the side of this element. So calcium was having 40, titanium was having 48, so added these atomic masses and then divided by 2. So he removed average of these atomic masses. So 88 divided by 2 is 44, and then it was given a name. with respect to the some other element with which its properties are matching. So it matched boron a lot. So leaving one place, it matched boron a lot. So it was given the name as Eka boron. Leaving one place, there is boron. So it was given the name Eka boron. Similarly, he kept many more vacant places for the unknown, undiscovered elements, and some of the elements he predicted their mass number and he matched the properties if they are matching with some other element. So similarly, he gave this element with mass number 68 the name as Eka aluminium, because leaving one place there is aluminium, and this element was matching with its properties with this element which is aluminium. So this element was given the name as Eka aluminium. Next, this element was given the name as Eka silicon, because this element with assumed mass number as 72 was matching with its properties with silicon. So this element was given the name as Eka silicon. Next, you can see some question marks in the periodic table. Mendeleev kept question marks in his periodic table as the elements were getting discovered at that time. There were some uncertainties in the names given to these elements. So he kept question marks just before the symbols or the molecular names of these elements. So next we will see the merits of Mendeleev's periodic table. The first one, the atomic masses of some elements were revised so as to give them the proper place in the periodic table in accordance to their properties. For example, beryllium had earlier determined atomic mass as 14.09. It was revised and corrected to a right value of 9.4 and beryllium was placed before boron. Second, there was no place reserved for noble gases in Mendeleev's original periodic table. However, when noble gases such as helium, neon, argon were discovered by the end of 21st century, Mendeleev created zero group without disturbing the original periodic table, and the noble gases fitted there very well. And the third merit of Mendeleev's periodic table, Mendeleev kept vacant places for the elements which were not discovered at that time. Three of these unknown elements were given the names from their known neighbors as Eka boron, Eka aluminium and Eka silicon. They were given the mass numbers as 44, 68 and 72 respectively. Not only this, but their properties were also predicted. Later on, when these elements were discovered, they were given the names as scandium, gallium and germanium respectively. So Eka boron was given the name as scandium, Eka aluminium was given the name as gallium and Eka silicon was given the name as germanium. And what was found that the properties which Mendeleev had predicted matched the properties of these newly discovered elements. Because of this, Mendeleev's periodic table gained importance and it was immediately accepted. Next, we will see the demerits of Mendeleev's periodic table. The first one, the whole number atomic mass of the elements cobalt and nickel is same. So which element to place first in the Mendeleev's periodic table? So there was a question related to the sequence of cobalt and nickel in the Mendeleev's periodic table. Second one, long time after Mendeleev put forth his periodic table, the isotopes were discovered. Now isotopes have similar chemical properties, but their atomic masses are different. So there was a problem in placing these isotopes in Mendeleev's periodic table because every group have different properties and these isotopes were having similar chemical properties. Their atomic masses were different. So isotopes could not be placed in Mendeleev's periodic table. Third one, when the elements are arranged in increasing order of their atomic masses, the increase in atomic mass of the elements does not seem to be uniform. So it was difficult for the scientists to predict how many elements could be placed in between or in the middle of two heavy elements. Next, position of hydrogen. Hydrogen shows similarities with group 7 halogens. For example, if you take halogens like fluorine or chlorine and see its molecular formula, it matches with molecular formula of hydrogen. So fluorine is F2, chlorine is Cl2 and hydrogen is H2. So their molecular formula matches. So this is the first similarity which is observed between group 7 elements and hydrogen. Second, it forms similar compounds with metals as well as non-metals. Suppose if you take metal like sodium and see its reactivity with chlorine, sodium with chlorine forms NaCl and with hydrogen it forms NaH. So their compounds are also matching. This is with metal sodium. With non-metal like carbon, carbon forms CCl4 with chlorine and CH4 with hydrogen. So here also their compounds are matching. So hydrogen showed similarities with group 7 halogens, and next it also showed similarities with group 1 alkaline metals. For example, if you take like potassium or sodium, its reactivity with oxygen. Sodium with oxygen will form Na2O. Similarly, hydrogen will form H2O. So you can see that their compounds are showing similarities. And then if you take suppose chlorine and see its reactivity with sodium, sodium with chlorine will form NaCl and hydrogen will form HCl. So their compounds are matching. So hydrogen showed similarities with group 1 elements also. So hydrogen's position could not be decided because it showed similarities with two groups, group 1 alkaline metals and group 7 halogens. So this was considered to be a demerit of Mendeleev's periodic table. Mendeleev could not predict the existence of noble gases, which can be considered as the fifth demerit of Mendeleev's periodic table. So that's it in this video. Hope you have understood whatever I have explained you in this video, and hope you have subscribed my channel. If not done, then please subscribe. Please like this video, share this video. Thanks for watching.
Use your brain power. Question 1. Write the molecular formulae of oxides of the following elements by referring to the Mendeleev's periodic table. Answer: sodium oxide, calcium oxide, silicon dioxide, carbon dioxide, rubidium oxide, phosphorus pentoxide, barium oxide, chlorine oxide, tin dioxide, which is also called as stannic oxide. Use your brain power. Question 2. Write the molecular formulae of the compounds of the following elements with hydrogen by referring to the Mendeleev's periodic table. Answer: methane, hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen bromide, azrine, hydrogen fluoride, water, ammonia, hydrogen chloride. Use your brain power. Question 3. Chlorine has two isotopes, Cl35 and Cl37. Their atomic masses are 35 and 37 respectively. Their chemical properties are same. Where should these be placed in Mendeleev's periodic table? In different places or in the same place? Answer: in Mendeleev's periodic table, the arrangement of elements is done on the basis of atomic mass. Since the atomic masses of isotopes are different, that is 35 and 37, they should be kept in different places in Mendeleev's periodic table. Use your brain power. Question 4. There are some vacant places in the Mendeleev's periodic table. In some of these places, atomic masses are seen to be predicted. Enlist these predicted atomic masses along their group and period. Answer: atomic mass 44, group 3, period 4. Atomic mass 68, group 3, period 5. Atomic mass 72, group 4, period 5. Atomic mass 100, group 7, period 6. Use your brain power. Question 5. Due to uncertainty in the names of some of the elements, a question mark is indicated before the symbol in the Mendeleev's periodic table. What are such symbols? Answer: symbols are given. Merits of Mendeleev's periodic table. First, atomic masses of some elements were revised and elements were given proper places. Second, created zero group without disturbing the original periodic table in which the noble gases were placed. Third, kept vacant places for elements which were not discovered. Fourth, indicated atomic masses and predicted properties of some of the undiscovered elements, which later on turned to be correct. Demerits of Mendeleev's periodic table. First, ambiguity regarding the place of cobalt and nickel. Second, no place for isotopes of elements. Third, could not predict how many elements could be discovered between two heavy elements. Fourth, anomalous position of hydrogen. Fifth, he could not predict the existence of noble gases.